Yeah, welcome back, race fans. Michael D. White from the Bump and Run podcast. We had a nice off weekend last weekend, but NASCAR is back, baby, and we're headed to Nashville for the Ally 400. I'm in the kitchen. Let's see what's cooking. Let's see what happened in practice and try to figure out maybe who to throw some units on. Do a little sports gambling this weekend on NASCAR. But before we start, always remember, never bet more than you're willing to lose. I like to figure out a monthly budget for my gambling, and then 1% of that monthly budget is one unit. So that's what I'm going to be betting today. I was watching NASCAR practice last night. Some people surprised me, but first let's go back to last Monday on the podcast. Me, the Statman Matt, and Daytona Ron, we all gave you our picks before we saw a lap of on-track activity, and I'm going to go over those right now. Last week on the podcast, Bump and Run Pod, if you're not listening every week to the podcast, what are you doing? Hope you enjoyed this show, but go watch our other show too. It's fantastic. Matt, he picked Kyle Larson. Right now, Larson's the odds-on favorite, sitting at a plus 470. So if you bet $1, you win $4.70. Watching him in practice yesterday, on a 5-lap average, he was the third quickest. 10-lap average, he was the second quickest. And the 15-lap average, he was the fourth quickest. So he's got a fast piece coming into Nashville. Haven't seen a whole lot out of Kyle Larson lately. Having a little bit of a struggle compared to last year, but at a plus 470, why not throw a unit on him? He's got a fast piece in practice. We'll see what he does in qualifying coming up in about an hour or so. I picked William Byron. He's sitting at a plus 1,000. He was fifth fastest in a 5-lap average, sixth fastest in a 10th lap average, and seventh quickest in a 15-lap average. So pretty solid top 10 car right off the bat. We'll see what happens throughout the race. You know, anything can happen during a race. And then Daytona Ron, he went with his boy Ryan Blaney. Right now, Blaney is sitting at a plus 1,300. He won the All-Star race, waiting for that first win in the regular season to lock him into the playoffs, and he had a fast top 10 car in practice yesterday, sitting 8th, 9th, and 8th in a 5, 10, and 15 lap average, respectfully. So definitely a fast top 10 car. Can he get the win done? I don't know. We'll see tomorrow night. One guy that was super fast in practice, and the odds are sitting there, kind of a long shot, but man, if his pit crew could get it done this week, Bubba Wallace, plus 3,200. That means you bet $1 on Bubba Wallace, you're winning $32. I already placed that bet. You want to know why? Because he was the quickest in practice in a 15-lap average. That is a fast, long-run car. Like I said, though, take a gamble on that pit crew. They've been letting Bubba down almost every week this season. But for $1 to win 32, why not? Throw $10 on. That's $320 that you could take home if Bubba could get it done. I placed my bet on Bubba already. Another guy I placed my bet on, Tyler Reddick. Not going to lie, I'm a Tyler Reddick fan. This might not be the best bet, but he's sitting at a plus 1,300. I threw 10 units on him. I threw $10 on him. We'll see if he wins me I put $5 on him. We'll see if he wins me like $95. In a 5 and 10 lap average, he was 4th and 8th quickest. At one point, he was like 2nd quickest in practice, just on a single lap. So pretty fast car. The only thing listened to his radio. Had some vibration problems. He's been dealing with vibration problems almost every week now, and it kind of bites him in the ass. So if you want to take the gamble, take the gamble. I took the gamble because I'm a fan and I bet on him every single week. Another guy with pretty crazy odds, and I'm waiting for this guy to get himself a win in his final season. That's Eric Almarola. Right now sitting at a plus 4,000. You bet $100, you win $4,000. He was 13th quickest in a 15-lap average, so decently fast car. Here's where I'm betting him, though. For a top 10, he's sitting at a plus 100, so I'm throwing some units just for a top 10, just for fun. We'll see what happens. You want to get crazy? Maybe throw like half of a unit on for a win. I don't know. I still might do that, too. Just going through the other really fast cars during practice. Kyle Busch, he was second in a 15-lap average. He's sitting at a plus 650. So bet $1 wins $6.50 if he wins. Already covered Kyle Larson. He was fourth quickest in a 15-lap average. William Byron, my pick to win, seventh quickest in a 15-lap average, plus 1,000. And another guy, Denny Hamlin. I think Denny could start going on a tear, to be honest with you. It seems like every week the manufacturers are up and down. It'll be a Toyota week one week, it'll be a Chevy week another, it'll be a Ford week the next. But I'm thinking that Toyota might do pretty well because they were really well in practice. It was sixth in a 15-lap average. He's sitting at a plus 1,300 to win the race, and I think he might start rattling off some wins. Another guy that might start rattling off some wins, this guy was third in a 15-lap average. He's already got multiple wins on the season. That's Ross Chastain sitting at a plus 700. I bet him for a top 3. I put 1 unit on for a top 3 finish. It's going to drop the odds, but it's going to be a little bit safer. On Monday's podcast, we were all kind of high on Ross Chastain, but all a little nervous to play him just because some people might want to pay someone back. I don't see payback happening at Nashville, to be honest with you. It's a 1.5-mile racetrack, a little bit faster than what you want to do, putting a guy, maybe moving him out of the way or putting him into the wall. But still, super fast in practice. Third in a 15-lap average. Definitely a guy I'm playing in my fantasy team this week. Christopher Bell sitting at a plus 2,000. He didn't make a 15-lap average, but he did make a 5 and a 10-lap average, and he was 9th and 10th there. Might be a good value pick for fantasy, just throwing that one out there. Maybe put him in your garage, but that's pretty much the top 10 quickest cars in practice in a 15-lap average. That's what I like to do, especially when I'm doing fantasy, just kind of looking at those guys that are good on a long run and see how they qualify too, We got a Gus in the shot. He's looking at the head-to-heads. He's like, buddy, stop talking about fantasy. Get into those head-to-heads. And the first one, Ross Chastain versus Chase Elliott, both of them sitting at a minus 112. I'm going with Ross. He was third quickest in a 15-lap average. Chase was 9th quickest in a 15-lap average, so sitting at a top 10. Second one, we got Ryan Blaney versus Martin Truex Jr. Big news for Martin Truex Jr. too. He's returning to Joe Gibbs in 2023. Does that give him a little bit more confidence in this next-gen car? Does he have more confidence in Nashville? Well, he's sitting 5th in practice, and Ryan Blaney was sitting 8th quickest in practice. Gus, you're killing me here, bud. I'm going with Martin Truex Jr. And then head-to-head, Stewart-Haas Racing. We got Chase Briscoe versus Kevin Harvick. Harvick sitting at a minus 102. Chase Briscoe sitting at a minus 126. Both of these guys had a rough one in practice. Kevin Harvick, 29th in practice. I'm going with Chase Briscoe. We'll go with the young gun, although Kevin Harvick tends to prove me wrong in these spots. So that one, I feel like it's a toss-up. And then we have Eric Almarola versus Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez coming off that win. He's sitting at a minus 126. Almarola sitting at a minus 102. Both of them pretty quick in practice. Suarez 16th, Almarola 13th. I'm going with Eric Almarola. Just something's telling me about Eric Almarola. I'm feeling really good about him all season long, so I'm going with Almarola. But you might want to play Suarez coming off that win. He's got a little bit of momentum factor. Could the weekend off have, thrown him off his game, though? Who knows? And then your final head-to-head, we got Denny Hamlin at a minus 126 versus Joey Lagano at a minus 102. Hamlin was 6th in practice, and Lagano was 11th in practice. Gus, you're killing me over here, bud. I gotta keep petting him off the screen, but I'm picking Denny Hamlin versus Joey Logano. Joey Logano's been so cold lately. I know he has a win this season, but I don't know. Hamlin's showing more flashes. He had a real rough start to the season. He's showing some promise lately, so I'm going with Hamlin. And yeah, that's the head-to-heads for this week. We will see. Of course, these were all provided by Fanduel. DraftKings might be a little different, and we have qualifying coming up in just a few, so that might change some of these lines. But as of Saturday morning, these are the guys I'm going with to just go over again. Statman Matt picked Kyle Larson at a plus 470. I picked William Byron on the podcast at a plus 1,000. Eric picked Ryan Blaney at a plus 1,300. I'm telling you, put some money on Bubba Wallace. He was super fast in practice. If his pit crew could get it done. I'm throwing some money on Eric Almarola, and I'm throwing money on Ross Chastain. And every week I throw money on Tyler Reddick. I'm just hoping that one day the luck will go in his favor. Maybe it'll be in Music City. He's running the Xfinity race today. We'll see how he does there. And tomorrow for the Ally 400 on NBC. We're heading to NBC for the rest of the season. 5 p.m. tomorrow, going to be a big event, and we will, of course, break it all down for you Monday night right here on the Bump and Run podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, tell us if you win some money, tell us who you're betting on this weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. And don't forget, follow us at Bump the Letter N Run. Bump and Run Pod, Bump the Letter and Run Pod at Twitter. You know the deal. I'll see you guys tomorrow night with Monday night with Matt the Statman Riley, Daytona Ron. I'm Michael D. White saying, have a good weekend. Let's win some money, baby.
There it is.